Welcome back, welcome back. If you can't tell, we're in here in the fishing room, and you can't tell out the window behind me, but it's minus degrees. It's been cold as heck. We were in a cold spell here in Minnesota, but the end is coming towards near, and we're thinking about next year open water fishing again. It's got me thinking about a couple things from last year that I learned. Boat. So, last year, the big thing for sure that really broke out was perspective. A lot of those ones fishing for them on beds and stuff like that. And last year was the first year I got the new boat, and I rigged it up. I had my 360 sitting there, and I never had a reason to put it on. I felt so comfortable with my perspective mode. And I just want to go over some things, some of the reasons why I never did put the 360 on. I think we're going to do it this year. Not 100% sure, but I'll go over what I liked, what I disliked, and my observations. So yeah, last year I ran my Lowrance active target as like my main forward facing stuff, and I was able to run my Garmin. It's an Ultra 102 SV with LVS 34 perspective mode, and I gotta say, wow! Like there are some things that there's a just the casting accuracy for what you could see. Like I could see definitely shallow water. I didn't get a chance to try it, which is what we learned big time last year. For sure, got capitalized on so much was people using that for bed fish and for shallow water fish. And I heard all the comments about how it didn't work in deep water, and I was surprised 15, 20 feet of water that I could still see rocks, weeds, all that stuff I wanted to see on it. And so that was a huge reason why I didn't use 360. Shoot, what is it? I still got my bracket sitting right here in the box and some of the other accessories, and I never had a need for it. Last year, I didn't think I had a need for it. I barely used my Humminbird last year at all. And so I gotta say that I was so impressed with it. And one of it is when you get everything dialed in, is when you're looking on it, where you're looking at, those of you that use live scope, you can cast right at what you're looking at. 360, you gotta wait for it to come around, right? You gotta guess where it's going, guess what your speed is, guess all that. Yes, you get a picture for longer on your 360, and it can show you a great image. I can line everything up, and with the live scope, know that I'm casting at the right thing. Huge part was we fished that tournament on Mille Lacs. Unreal is when you're sitting there looking on your perspective mode. Check out that little rock spot. Yeah, buddy. And you can turn right to the big rock you're looking at. You turn it right to the side, and you can pick up that big rock. Bam, your casting accuracy is unreal with that perspective mode, and that's something I didn't think about, was just being able to, as long as you got everything lined up, you can look at it and hit precisely where you're at. I know 360 you can kind of guess a little bit footage wise. I'm sure I never spent enough time with that. But if you move a little bit, that 360 is already off. Your perspective mode, you can see exactly what it is, how far away it is. And that's real time, right? So that was a huge thing, Mille Lacs and just catching boulders or using them to catch fish. That isolated targets, when you turn your motor, you know your live scope, and then you can see on your live scope what you're looking at. Exactly. Like, turn there. I got it all in line, so I know I'm casting. So that casting accuracy on that was just unreal to me. And, your picture image wasn't as good as 360, but I'd rather take that precision casting and knowing, and then you can see it come down on live scope. Huge deal. 360, I think I'm going to get it going this year, so I'm going to have a better idea of how long I use it. But that accuracy, on that same Mille Lacs tournament, one of the problems was, or at least the way I got mine set up, is it washes out that perspective mode. So if you're moving around a lot, so if you have your boat anchor locked, it's washing out and you're not being able to see it. That's the one occasion that I saw why I'd take 360, is that stationary, big waves. Your motor's adjusting so bad as you're trying to go around. Anytime you're moving it really fast, that motor's going back and forth like this, it's like washing out. And maybe that's my settings or something. But if you spin the trolling motor, you lose everything. Watch. Spin it. And as you let it sit there, you can see more. But that was the one case that I would rather have 360 on, because you're getting at least a clear image. And that Mille Lacs tournament, when it started off really rough like this. It was very difficult to be able to do that, to be able to see good image with that, because they went washed when you go real fast. But started to get used to it. Started to get a little slower moving my trolling motor, and so that took it out. But geez, I don't know why anybody wouldn't be running that just for that casting accuracy. And I spent a lot more time being a little slower with the trolling motor, lining up targets, and just using that for like isolated stuff. You could see fish on there. You could definitely see panfish and crappies and these giant schools of crappies, and you can look right at that, cast right at that fish. That casting accuracy that's why you want most of that stuff. Like, the difference to me was night and day. We'll see. I'll give another review next year after I put the 360 back on and see what the difference is. There was a fair amount of feedback, the big wave that came through my live scope by having two different brands and the interference that went with it. I didn't like that portion of things, but you can see fish good enough to me. So that's my review. Really wasn't going to say anything or make this video, but technology, all that stuff, it's coming. So I use it quite a bit last year. We'll see. I'm sure I'll like it once again. We'll see with 360 review next year. Thanks for watching. I hope this helps. And we'll see you on the water. I feel it coming soon, baby. So we'll see you next time.